Top lane someday, jungler Meteos, Ryu in mid, with the bot support being Cody Sun and Afromoo with Coach Prolly.
And yesterday, 100 Thieves showed an extremely clean victory over Cloud9. It kind of put Afromoo back into that position where you think of the guy and you instantly think of a champion, and that one was Thresh.
Yeah, the plays, the hooks, the plays being made by Afromoo, 100 Thieves, off of his back, taking down Cloud9, team that was up there, number 2 in the standings, in only 28 minutes.
Crazy.
And he did that with 100% kill participation there on that Thresh. And the team was very vocal about how they had communication issues, how these are all veterans who all have different kind of mentalities and ways that they want to play the game, but they showed incredible coordination, something that they hadn't previously, to have their cleanest victory of the split up against the second-place team.
And we were talking about Afromoo just a second ago. Usually when it was kind of one of those champions, there's always another one as well. So if he's on par with his Thresh like this, bring back his Morgana with the bindings if that's what's necessary in that play style or whatever. Afromoo is kind of on point at the moment. But if 100 Thieves want to continue their climb through the standings, they'll have to get through FlyQuest, who are nipping at their heels in 7th.
Yeah, yesterday they did hit a bit of a roadblock in their climb from the bottom of the standings. FlyQuest did have a pretty good early game, but then they found themselves dying in a bunch of disjointed encounters. On top of that, a bright spot for the team previously in their mid laner Fly, he was consistently bullied and shut down by Team Liquid, so he wasn't able to have the same kind of impact that we've seen from him in previous games, and I wonder if that's going to be another target of focus here since he's been such a bright spot for FlyQuest.
Well, that Thresh being a bright spot gets taken out, as well as the Skarner, so Anda not going to have his choice right off the bat here.
That's incredible, too, because there are a lot of power picks that we've been seeing. Gangplank, Zoe, Azir. We see a lot like Camille, Jump Up, Skarner. And now it's kind of looking like 100 Thieves are going to have to be the ones banning the power picks and strangling that position out, or I guess those champions out.
Yeah.
Whereas FlyQuest are just like, nah, Varus, Thresh, let's take away the bottom lane, you know, the Zach and Cody bottom lane here. Make sure that they don't have these champions that they were doing so well on yesterday.
Maybe something to the top lane next for someday. No, to the jungle. Meteos. Take that Sejuani right out.
Okay.
Had Skarner yesterday for himself, so he will not be playing either of those today. And a final ban here for 100 Thieves.
Azir on the table, Zoe on the table, Camille on the table,
Galio
Zach,
on the table.
Galio, yeah. There's so much here that you're even just like, do we want to ban? Okay, it looks like it would be the Galio that they go for.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Let's Fly get Zoe.
They just wanted to make sure that Fly didn't have the Galio, one of the big picks for him. The Galio, the Talia, the roaming potential is what Fly is usually going to play around. And with the Zoe, it's a little different here for him. When he played Azir, he still got to roam a whole bunch. But yesterday, when he played Ryze, he didn't really get the opportunity to do so. So, going to be watching him very closely to see if he's able to open up the game on the Zoe.
Now to the side of 100 Thieves. What do they feel like will be top of the table today for the Thieves? Jax first, I like it. Cloaked up. Could be of the Thief Den.
I would have suspected a Zac instead because they take it away from Anda, who's been loving that champion.
But does Meteos play Zac?
Does Meteos play Zac? I'm not sure. Yeah, of course he plays Zac. He loves that champion. But the Jax may be something that they can flex around if they don't pick jungle here.
Huh. Feel all right to not show too much, and like you said, maybe a flex Jax. Thinking that's going to be Meteos though, so he can go pretty hard in the jungle. Anda and Fly to now pick up what could be a top laner and maybe something else in the jungle as well to keep things kind of even.
Yeah, because the jungle pool could get strangled pretty heavily.
Right.
So I would expect they go for the Zac
ADCs
somewhere in here. Unless they just have a completely different idea of what they really want to pick up. But the Caitlyn for Wild Turtle, signature champion from him when he first entered the league, but he also played it last week against Optic. He's been pulling it out for some lane dominance.
Oh boy!
Ooh.
Oh boy! Okay.
Nidalee's been popping up a little bit here and there across the world, not very heavily, but at the same time, this champion gives a lot of pressure in the jungle, and I expect it to make a resurgence, especially on patch 8.4, but this is 8.3 right now, where we're going to be looking at Anda to try and apply pressure to lanes. I know that he hit like top of solo queue by being a very aggressive jungler and playing things like the Nidalee, We'll see what he's able to do here up against 100 Thieves on that pick. I feel like you're going to need some gank assistance from your lanes.
Interesting. FlyQuest kind of pulling out a few stops here towards the back half of the split. 4-7 versus 6-5 Thieves. You may say, hey, we're going to put a little more control into the players' hands. Maybe back into a few wheelhouse feel-good champions. And we see that in Italy in the jungle. Ryze does get picked up. Nice and easy for Ryu in the mid lane. Keep it farmed up and get some round warp plays later. Ornn out in phase 2 to start things off for 100 Thieves as Rapid Star discusses with his team what will be next. What's the first good phase 2 pick? An Alistar.
Alistar, Tom Kench also on the table. I think those two champions definitely jump up as top tier. Braum also combined with the Tristana could be an issue when you run into a poke composition, because FlyQuest right now, this just screams to me Siege. They want to just all group in a mid lane. Zoe's going to be throwing trouble bubbles, spears. You're going to be dodging every which way.
Yep.
It's going to be really awful if you're playing against this as 100 Thieves, unless you have a very sturdy tank line. But even then, they're going to have to stack some magic resistance and still watch their feet for those Caitlyn traps in Siege situations.
You need some tank on this FlyQuest side as well. A lot of these members just kind of pop under the current damage that we're seeing here from 100 Thieves.
And that's why 100 Thieves have banned away the Ornn and the Scion, right? Those are two of those big, beefy tanks in the top lane. And there's the Braum being taken away. More takes being taken away in this game. So we're looking at a little bit of, I would say paper-type champions still left up, unless people are going to go for Maokai. Shen,
Nar's
Tom
out there.
I actually think Tom is probably a pretty good pick here to avoid some of that damage.
I do like Tom Kench a lot because you get room prisoned, you get stunned up, counter-strike, whatever, knock him up and walk out of that fight. Gnar actually getting locked in by the side of 100 Thieves, the next tank that FlyQuest may have been able to look at, really, going to that top lane currently. And, well, Turtle loves the Jhin.
Yeah,
we know him as a Jhin player.
Flame would pick the Camille for the later game counter matchup.
Yep. We just saw this as well between Dokla and Hanser if they pick Camille Gnar. Ooh.
Disengage. So you don't need to draft tanky champions if you have clean disengage. And the Janna for stunt here, which he played once again up against Optic last week.
Ooh. That is a lot of squish, boys and girls. We'll see how this does. Blitzcrank locked in for Afro. I said, man, once you get Afro on those high-tier plays, once he's feeling good, we may see some more. And after the Thresh, now we get the Blitzcrank locked in. It's gone to the wayside for him from a while, but is a very big wheelhouse pick for the man in the bot lane. Locked in, 40 seconds left.
100 Thieves started off the season winning 4 of their first 5 games, and then they lost 4 games. And then Afro feels like it's one of those like basketball video games where it's like he's heating up, and it's just like he played his Bard, his signature Bard last week. Then he played Thresh. Now he's playing Blitzcrank. This guy, when he's feeling it, he is feeling it, and they're allowing him to play these champions.
It's a lot of the communication as well when he was on Counter Logic Gaming would flow from him, would flow from that mid lane. So if everything's kind of fallen into place for him, he gets to think a lot more about the calls. Rapid Star discussing the last few things and strategies with the team as they leave them to their own divide. Shakes hands with Prolly as they head off here for game 2 of the day. FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves. 4-7 FlyQuest in the standings, a 6-5 100 Thieves. Both teams trying to make an impact here in an interesting time in the standings. The top teams finding a few losses, could affect a few things. The bottom teams trying to make that climb.
It's been a topsy-turvy few weeks here, especially this last one in the NALCS. At 100 Thieves, they've won their last 2. This could be the start of a streak.
About to be on to the Rift, a very squishy FlyQuest team looking to do just that, fly under the radar, make this one work under their win conditions. And we're going to see if 100 Thieves can get right in their face with that composition they've put together. The Gnar on the top side, that Ryze in the middle, and Aframu on that Blitzcrank looking to make the plays. We're on the Rift, and we're in the game.
I am loving it. The fact that the Nidalee came out
and Nidalee
from
too.
Anda is, you're just like, okay, I guess they're going for a lot of poke potential here, but the Blitzcrank is huge for the hooks. It's a champion that look at that, look at level 1 for the pull. Where is it, Afro? Sweet. Oh, that was really well played from Fly. He went in the, I would say it's the trap corner where you go behind the turret. You can't juke left or right there, but then he actually didn't fully commit to it and juked away, and Aframu pulled the trigger there. but
say,
I'm
well,
excited.
we have a lot of skill shots to dodge. We'll give you a hook to dodge. Give you a boomerang. Everybody's got their few things that they can throw out here. We'll see for starting items. Shield someday. Doran's blade for flame.
Yeah, I would already title this game Dodgeball because as soon as somebody gets hit here, they're going to be out. It's going to be huge with FlyQuest throwing bubbles left and right, spears, traps, constantly watching your feet, and then 100 Thieves getting an engage would be difficult against this Janna. But if you just root them and hook them, they're probably going to drop because they're so squishy.
Get that airy Janna as well as we would expect with the exhaust. Really looking to shut down any of these plays here. Honda marks up the red. They get to cutting it down. Head towards the bot side. Aframu and Cody Sun not playing any bush games here. They're going to try to early level 2. Push the lane as fast as possible as you have Meteor starting on the top side. And no funny games there. Someday with a quick push, and they'll try to get that early adaptive shield, making sure you can get a little health on Someday. We saw Dokla doing this to Haunter in basically the same way, and everything was fine, because Someday can farm with the clock, just from far away.
It's a little bit different. Flame took the E, the hook shot level 1, so he gets to hit Someday and then gets to trade very heavily, so he actually puts Someday quite low and uses his own potion. But yes, like you said, Rib, the attack speed is something people don't think about, because the hook shot, if you hit a champion with it, you get attack speed on the back end. So I expect him to actually go for the W here next to go for some trades onto Someday, and there it is. There's the W leveled up. Roar! Aha! The leap away. So they're actually taking some interesting skill ups here just in this 1v1. Normally you'd take something like the W and save the leap for level 3. We just wanted to get away from that.
Wait on Hyper, won't have that damage. A quick drowsy and a quick deletion of Ryu's health bar.
Yep.
That's how that works.
Has some potions, though. And Meteos already looking for a play. I was going to say the Krugs, but it looks like he is going for a play here. The Jax.
Oh, my word.
And the Blitz.
They don't have a lot of damage in this lane. It's all about defense. First hook, first grab, and first blood going over to Cody Sun.
Cody Sun getting that kill there on the Tristana. Huge for him there. Wild Turtle flashed away, stunned. Not able to really go for the reactions there. Still has flash. Turtle still has heal, but it was just too much of a combination there between the Jax and the Blitzcrank. Let's see that one more time.
Plays out perfectly, too, because usually you bring Ignite, and you're like, oh, you might get first blood. It still goes to Cody Sun.
It's a good interrupt there from stun onto the Jax, but it was just a little bit too late because the Jax already gets in without having to use his flash. And so Wild Turtle gets away mostly because of that, but the hook lands onto stun when he did have an opportunity to kind of get away.
Meteos out and running immediately as well from the jungle. We saw that start for him on the top side. He said, boom, straight down. We're going to get the gank. Coming back to lane, obviously the lane pushed up a bit. They didn't have minion control, so they slowly get pushed out. Stun, nicely trying to stop the back there.
Cody Sun, though, nerves of steel.
But is this another one of those games for Cody Sun where we see him just start to go off? He had the Varus yesterday, 11-0 and 4. Pretty fed to him on a plate, but he did what he needed to do in positioning to keep that going as well.
Yeah, potentially. Cody Sun has been fantastic in his damage per minute in the late game. Usually it's because 100 Thieves have been a late game team where they have all these comebacks where they aren't really ahead at the early parts. But right here, Afram trying to hold the wave for Cody. Cody's about to arrive.
Nice guy, Afram. Clean it up.
Yeah, supports. Love it when they do that. Hold the wave. Make sure it doesn't get pushed in. Delays their back timer, and you can see that the Janna's going to try to do something with that. And Honda,
very close.
You can see the CS difference in the jungle, though. Honda was able to actually cycle a bit of Meteos' jungle, and he was looking for more there, but the team's going to protect him and make sure that his Jax isn't put too far behind here.
Look at it. Sneaky Afro move running around in the jungle here at level 3. He's in mid lane. If they add any other happenings in the jungle, one of them gets pulled in. Just the situations they're able to pull because of an advantage in the bot lane, really helping 100 Thieves here in the early, or possibly I should say helping.
About to transform.
Didn't do too much there. He pulls off just for a moment, thinking, yeah, Flame's walking back too far. Is there a jungler here?
Yeah, look at these item buys from these two guys, too. Double Doran's Blade, and then the Doran Shield into double Ruby Crystal. They're both kind of playing the way that they should at the early parts. Like, Camille needs to be aggressive, but then the Gnar needs to be able to just counter and trade and kind of, I would say, power through it. And I really like this purchase from Someday. It will help him get towards the Black Cleaver, but people will normally go for things like Longsword plus Ruby Crystal. And he's just saying, I will be able to take the beating that you're delivering here from the Camille. I'll be able to kind of out-sustain it, and it's working here, and it's giving him this CS advantage.
Honda cleans up bot side. Meteos is back, getting his purchase in. He's get a few wards for himself before he heads back into the jungle. And items. Almost grab as they look for one. You can see 2 first-time plays here in the 2018 spring split. Onda's Nidalee and Afro moves a Blitzcrank. Might see a little bit more of this from teams in the second half of the split as well. This is what we kind of expected. He reaching out of the box, trying a few more things here. If you don't feel like you have a quick groove on the game, it may be going back to the things you are used to. And that's what we're seeing here between both. 6:40 on the clock as Meteos back over the wall, but they've now started to place the ward where he came by before. A fool me once situation here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, but Onda's on the top side of the map. Can't really punish this.
True.
May just have to trade, but you can see that Someday up on the top side, kind of hanging around. Oh, boy.
You know it's coming, but it still wows you every time.
It's so early in the game, too.
Yeah.
Like, the cooldown was nerfed early, but it doesn't matter. It's still the same damage on 8.3. But hold on. Trying to look for a dive here. Meteos does have Flash still available. Could counter-strike and go for a play, but he's actually just going to dip. Took too long.
Grab was up. Slow things down. Having the grab up is almost more dangerous in that lane. They keep Turtle and Stun at bay, and they can keep farming. 70-60, not a huge lead, but nice to have Tristana at a better clip than that Caitlyn as well if you get into the late game fights. Meteos, I know you see it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't attack, move in, and...
Right. Just for a quick moment.
Yeah, you just move in, stop, and he picks it up.
Zombies out. So he's actually got a lot of vision on his top side of the map. FlyQuest will know when he's there. Only activation so far was that early game from Meteos. Not that they have to work off of it too much, but where would you like to see now something kind of go with the advantage that 100 Thieves grabbed early?
Well, right now, Cody Sun's just going to try to scale up in this lane where the Caitlyn and the Janna should have pressure because it's double ranged, especially with the Caitlyn pressure. The fact they got the kill kind of delays what I would consider is the inevitable for FlyQuest of having pressure. It may even push it so far away that you don't lose your turret in the early parts of the game, because this should be one that you could dive and go after something like the Blitzcrank.
Right. You just kind of shield attack, get under the turret, and then go.
Yeah. I do wonder, though, if they're able to actually pull that off, because you can see Wild Turtle here setting up traps, and now looking for a play.
Cool. And that's the situation we kind of expected to see in this lane. Just being disengaged, auto attack, and running.
Yeah, if you missed that, you just saw he took 3/4 of his HP bar as a punish.
Well, mistakes were made to prevent them again, but it's Turtle and Stunt that are now kind of figuring out that lane. Getting Alpha move pressure in the brush means
bottom.
he's going to come out.
Rise does have ultimate, could actually transport. We'll see.
That's all the defense they have. Level 6 is there. Stunt trying to hold just enough mana for the ultimate on Monsoon. Will it be enough? In a party in the bot lane by 100 Thieves. No ultimate from Stunt. Didn't have enough mana. Going after Afro. He's going to go down. How much can they kite this one out as Fly makes it all the way down? That's going to be a Drowsy. Pulls it forward. And that is Meteos going down. Cody's son. 200 HP away. Ryu just 300. Another 200. And that's Flame. They go past the turret. The hits keep coming, and 100 Thieves keep falling.
Someday was not in a position to TP. He didn't have it up yet. It still had 10 seconds left on it when Flame went for that play, so he couldn't answer.
What timing at the start, the end, the everything of that fight, and cooldowns that might have been necessary for FlyQuest to completely keep it in their favor. They somehow turn it around anyways. This turret's going to be going down, and that will be first turret blood as well. Over to FlyQuest. Actually, pretty struggling laning phase with what pressure Meteos was putting on, but all the teams collapsing bottom pays off.
Yeah, and the fact that FlyQuest get to actually have a numbers advantage here. Flame TP's in when there's 15 seconds left on Sunday's teleport. There was only about a 20 to 30 second difference within that TP timer. And as they went forward, you see Flame goes in the back, and they use so much to get Wild Turtle that Flame has a great hook shot and a triple stun there that hits Cody, Sun, Afro, and Meteos. And that's when Fly finally gets there to throw down the bubbles, start allowing them to clean up. And by that point, Flame has that hook shot back up, and he's ready to continue this dive. And with the help of Stun, healing everybody up, they're able to tank, and nobody goes down except for Wild Turtle.
So last flash on Cody's Sun as well. Does keep that KDA nice and clean for himself, but had to watch his team go down. That pressure now flows up towards the top side of the map. 3 members already of FlyQuest just out of the replay, ready to take down this turret and keep that map control going.
And they're using this Caitlyn and Janna now to just push around the lanes. Got themselves both those outer turrets.
That's where it feels good, too. That's like one of the best buddy systems in the game. If you're not like a Kog'Maw as well or something.
Oh, yeah.
There's Kog'Maw Lulu, which is Caitlyn, Janna. Those things feel good.
It feels so good because they have to use like 3 gap closers to get to you.
Yep.
They have to first have one for the Q of the Janna, one for like the Caitlyn E, and then another one to make sure that the Janna ultimate didn't knock them all the way back. So they have to like constantly engage and make it stick, or get you in like one fell swoop and kill the Janna. It makes it so that killing the Janna is a little bit higher priority than killing the Caitlyn.
It is.
Which is an AD carry. You always don't want to be the highest priority person on your team. You want to have somebody that's like, maybe I can just get some free shots this whole time while they go after this other guy.
And it makes it difficult, too, because whenever your priority isn't Zoe, you know she can delete somebody on your team by the time it takes Janna to go down. So a lot of decisions to be made on both sides. We haven't even really mentioned if FlyQuest does get the lead they're looking for. A 3v1 on the bot. Hextech flash out, grabbed in. And that was a game of dodgeball in favor of 100 Thieves.
Well, someday.
Oh, caught it in his teeth. Up 1-0. Oh, he just dodged it as well. Someday with the fancy footwork to get himself out alive.
Got the flash. The auto didn't finish him off. He had like 52 HP after the ultimate from Wild Turtle, but still able to just dodge, and he lives, and he TPs.
Oh, TP coming in, Realm Warp coming up. There's the net. Turtle's gonna slowly waltz out of this one. Gets the wind speed from Janna being behind her. Feels very good, and they're able to walk this one out. All the members of 100 Thieves actually head towards the top side on that, giving a little bit of mid-pressure here for the Rift Herald to now go down, secretly taken by Anda and team earlier. Oh, nice spear. Once they get to these turrets as well, they have all this disengage, but we also haven't even said about Wild Turtle setting up traps and how much that's going to stop 100 Thieves from trying to get into all of these setups on the sieges.
Yeah, the siege is going to feel really bad for 100 Thieves, except that Aphromoo is kind of the siege breaker, right?
They
root somebody and then they throw
got a big
hook
job.
It's pretty easy to land that hook, I would say.
Ooh.
I've seen some people miss it, but
that's just on
benefit of the doubt.
That's just on them. 14 minutes, things quieting down for just a moment. Enough to hear the players. You know things have calmed down when you can hear the players on stage chatting a little bit. But we see vision towards the bot side of the map. Infernal's going to be coming up in just a little bit, as Mountain was already grabbed here with 100 Thieves and the control they've had. But the turret's not in their favor yet. They're not trying to get too far forward until they have that vision here. FlyQuest needs to start pushing their vision forward so they can work this lead.
And despite having, like you're talking about, this lead, the Tristana is still ahead of the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn has that pressure because of her early game kit and her range, but she's still down about 800 gold right now, so doesn't have the completed Infinity Edge compared to Cody Sun, and he also went for the BF Sword Pickaxe into the Zeal, so it'll be a bit before he has that completed item coming through. And that Caitlyn, you really do want to get to the max traps before you reach the sieging phase, and right now Turtle has 4 points in Q, 3 points in his cupcakes. So he may actually max those out before the Piltover Peacemaker because he has a decent amount of wave clear now.
Make sure you can set up multiple traps and just get that safety.
Usually my rule of thumb on Caitlyn is you max Q during the laning phase. If the laning phase is extended, you'll have 5 points in Q at level 9. But if you are able to break the bottom turret, just start dumping points into W as fast as possible, because you'll go bottom turret to top turret to then mid turret. And when you're sieging the mid turret, having traps at level 4 or 5 really does make a huge difference compared to, I'm not going to be the one wave clearing the entire time.
Yeah.
I have a mid laner for that when I start grouping up. And even then, the difference between 4 and 5 in Piltover Peacemaker is not that large, whereas the difference in traps and being able to cover the whole lane is.
You don't say. As we see right there in the mid lane, making it a little harder for Afromu to scoot on through in his hot rod. And now top lane getting pressured, but not enough vision here. You can see that's controlled by FlyQuest on the top side of the map. He's still going to keep pressuring it. Seeing 3 in mid lane on Cody Sun says, I definitely can take a 1v1 situation or 1v2 to get out safely. And they start to get their vision back down.
Yep.
Pressure that mid lane.
Trying to keep pressure on mid so that they can get this Infernal Drake that's up in 30 seconds. Ryu is topside though, and you can see Flame actually wasn't answering the wave closely because he didn't have full information on the enemy team. Instead was just going to wait for it to crash and then pick it up here. But the Infernal Drake in 15 seconds, TP on Flame, no TP on Someday, so Someday will have to walk there, and Flame is now going to provide pressure on the top side with no answer except that teleport.
Also just watching Afromu's warding patterns here. Still obviously the same normal wards, but if you look at Raptor Pit, there's a lot of little wards all over. Chances for a grab to be made. Just things you would see where you might be able to catch a glimpse of somebody and have Ryu right behind you in a second.
Ryu behind you in a second. Nope, he's actually just going to get slept and doesn't eat a Q.
Whoa! Close. Almost getting the paddle to the backside, but he gets out alive. No damage really coming through on that one. He's not slept. Medios picking up the honey fruits. And a lot of vision down here towards the bottom side of the map. The Inferno Wall will be hit! Oh my god, they get Wild Turtle in the mix of it all! The few shots now, Someday was already flanking, and he finds Turtle for the first treat of the fight. Hits onto Stunt. He is down next, and they come up huge in the chaos above Dragon.
Afromu's feeling it. He is feeling it. A bullseye for him with that hook.
Turtle. A little bit of a facepalm there. It's not much you can do about that. That was all on Afromu, threading the hook straight through the team. They pick up Infernal to cause even more chaos. Flame doing what he can towards the top side of the map, but it looks like Someday might even be able to shut him down in time.
Yep, just going to push him off of the turret. And man, that hook. So he throws it at Onda. Onda's in front of Turtle, and he flashes out of the way. Turtle gets hooked.
Pie to the face.
And then Stunt has to flash in to try to save him. And at that point, it's either everybody flashes, or if Onda's flashing and you're not, you're definitely going to be eating that one, because I don't think the Nidalee is even tanky enough to take that type of beating.
No. That was huge, and Turtle even made it out for a second. If Someday wasn't on that top side, Turtle actually chose a great position to go to.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a minion wave. They didn't have that vision there, and he finds a Gnar just throwing a clock at him over and over again.
Even with the time to think about it here, I don't know what the right situation is once that hook is thrown, because it's both people flash, or Onda doesn't flash, or the other options, and then he gets hooked in, which may be better, but in the moment it just feels so wrong to be the person who gets hooked, being like, sorry team, I did it for you guys, you were going to get hooked, and it just feels really weird as a squishy to do that. So in that moment, I feel like it's just natural reaction for Onda to flash out of the way, and that got Turtle thrown under the bus, and him just completely blown up.
Or you take the full committed Stunt, flash in, and Monsoon.
Yeah, hey, there you go, the Janna does it.
We're looking at the wrong person. No, I'm just kidding. That would have actually been insane, but still cool.
But it goes down to that Blitzcrank pick is so smart from Afromu. It's unexpected from FlyQuest, and it really does round out the composition, because I said at the start, the sieges are going to suck for 100 Thieves, because FlyQuest have just so much sieging potential, but the Blitzcrank completely throws a wrench in that plan with that hook, and nobody can really soak it. They're all so squishy, like we've discussed many times now.
It works the siege around turrets, but not around a vision fight. That just gives way too many entry points for this 100 Thieves team to find that find that pick. And Afromu instantly sees that group of people before it happens. He sees them funneling into one spot. That hook has an incredibly high percentage to hit no matter what. You're throwing it at 3 people that are funneled right out of the river, so he knows exactly what he's doing, trying to make these plays, and the probability that they will take someone down. Mid now getting hit up as Cody Sun, Infernal and Mountain starts to do a bit more damage to these structures.
Yeah, and there's a flash hook from Afromu as well. So he devoted his flash, got a flash, and got his team a kill. And then got even another flash because they tried to reinforce, but still, it's a very high value Blitzcrank hook there. And we've seen kind of what a Blitzcrank hook could look like on both sides. But Zoe TP, okay.
Like, I found this.
It was just a fake.
Yeah.
It was just a prank, man.
Oh,
Got him slept afterwards.
boom. He's like, I'm not sleepy. I'm awake. Just kidding. And not finding the fight he wants to be in. One last shot. Shield comes in. Nicely done. The Storm Shield isn't enough. Stuck gets himself right into the frying pan as he tries to help his teammate.
That might be Baron with Onda down. That's the person who would smite it away. Meteos isn't on this side of the map yet. He's got to kind of truck it all the way over.
This is where you would hope. They get drowsy, they get slept. More paddle starts to come in, looking for Afro on the left side. No, throws it to the right, tries to get Baron. They lock him in. That's the Meteos smite coming down, and so is Fly down on the ground.
Yep, Turtle is just pushing mid, has to kind of control the waves there. The team caught out. Great turnaround from Ryu here. You see this where he goes Onda after he had just got chunked out. So he's going to pop the cleanse here after the drowsy turns into the sleep. Flashes, roots, combos him. Stunt is ready to reinforce, but Cody Sun is there. Stunt did such a good job, though, of shielding to prevent the death. Then threw out the ultimate to stop Someday from getting in, but it doesn't matter because there's just too many people there and they're not able to hit the blast cone fast enough.
And the thing is like, in that situation, you always say like, oh, they flashed, they did this, they flashed. But it's almost all right that they flashed. They're so far ahead that that's not a flash that being down is really affecting them that much. You had Someday over the wall, you had Ryu flashing there, but still, FlyQuest does not feel comfortable to take these engages. So those flashes will be back up before 100 Thieves really even needs them as they make quick work of these inner turrets. Top side now could just be Meteos and Someday as the team works the other side of the map.
Looking for Ryu here, ulti onto him.
Oh, it's going to be a party. Dodging it in and out. Oh, no. Meteos is like, I don't really want this. Can you get on this side of the blast cone, friend?
That's what this game has been. It's just like, you're out of position. Come over here. I'll help you. Meteos,
but only if you can get over here.
Exactly. But Meteos was in a position where he's like, well, you know what?
Wow.
I don't want to get caught because people having each other's backs this game, it's kind of backfired multiple times. But you can see here, 100 Thieves actually get themselves 2 turrets, one of them being an inhibitor turret during that whole thing. So trading that for Ryu's life seems to be worth it for this 100 Thieves squad.
Absolutely, and letting Cody Sun fly under the radar. 16-0-7 over the past 2 days is his scoreline right now, if he doesn't die. And we'll see this fight one more time. As they say, Counter-Strike. All right, now quick, come with me.
Walk this way.
It's like, I can't. All right, never mind.
And that's good.
Oh, he hit it.
No, it's Flame hitting it.
Yeah, Flame was like, never mind. I'll hit it for you guys.
Yeah, Meteos, it's a great play from Flame, but Meteos is on the other side. Like, I'm just going to wait here for you. It's one of those ones where you only hold the elevator so long.
Yeah, it is true. Then they keep talking and close it. Close it. 0-0-5 for Someday in that top lane as he keeps himself pretty apparent in these fights, but also a nuisance in the side lane. Calling pressure when that teleport is up. Being with the team when it is down. Still looking for Fly to hit these shots over the wall with the ult and back to safety. And you can see it becomes a game of dodgeball, but it looks like they can start catching these spears at this point as Onda falls a bit behind. Meteos not taking too much damage from that one. How are they actually dodging it? This is pretty impressive. Or just nobody's hitting anything, which is also pretty impressive.
Dodge, is it the dodging or the aiming?
It's the sun in their eyes. There's a bit of draft on the Rift today. I feel 20 knots to the left on the west. Drowsy up. Still missed.
It's the aiming.
It's the aiming.
It is the aiming.
Confirmed. We have gone through enough. We had hypothesis. We have tested. And we now have our answer. 6,000 gold. It puts 100 Thieves in the driver's seat here to head down and take down Dragon as they jockey for position in mid. All these zombie wards. We're going to Armageddon or Plague something coming soon if we see any more. Flame to top side to clear this out. Just a few CS behind, but at this point, that's not going to matter too much with the assisted kills going into the hands of Someday. What's the next move here? If this is defended, where does FlyQuest go?
To defend the mid lane right now.
Even after defending the mid lane.
After defending the mid lane, which you hope that they were able to do, I feel like they just try to push them out of the mid lane, get them off that bottom turret.
It's all about the mid lane.
Yeah, right now it really is.
Oh, it's about the bot lane though. Maybe the mid lane goes down as Ryu goes down the top side. Seraph's Embrace and shields come in, but Ryu goes down. The Rise is out of the fight. That's the machine gun mage. not able to deliver the DPS, and makes 100 Thieves consider it differently. What are you thinking? Standing in front of Afromu, the entirety of the team behind Turtle, and he gets grabbed again.
When your team has no front line, somebody has to step up.
This is true. You just don't want it to be the bot laner.
Yes, it was Turtle that time. Afromu kind of read that too. He's like, I'm gonna wait right here for him.
Absolutely.
It was only half HP, guys. It was only half.
Almost hit and fly. He gets himself out. And they're just trying to get the kills on the way out too. They don't know when enough is enough, but that's okay for 100 Thieves right now. They can play for a while.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, I have to say, when I watch their games, they really do know how to play around the inhibitors and play that late game. Like, a lot of their wins are come from behind because they really understand what to do in macro situations. And like Crawley has said in interviews, their coach, it's all about being an annoying team, being the most annoying that they can be, and that's how they play League of Legends, is they try to pick you apart with these rotations, and as you see in this game, they got a little bit, they got some turrets, Ryu died top, they got multiple turrets on the bottom side, and now they've just cracked the base and gotten 2 inhibitors in 26 minutes.
I think pick you apart is one of the best ways to put it. We see Afromu able to hook Chaos into this team, even when they're down a member.
Really well played there from Flame with the hook shot into the flash to catch Ryu off guard. Gets the Hextech ultimatum to follow the flash, and then Flame is out. He's out. Yeah, Afromu stands there like, wait guys, hold on. There he is. Afromu like licks his finger, puts it up to the wind. Turtle, 12 o'clock.
Trajectory and go. Oh, wow. He has been 0-1-6 this game, having pretty good participation as he did yesterday on the Thresh, and really, again, helping to put these impact plays into motion, helping to continue the advantage. Coming up to 30 minutes here, 100 Thieves playing again at the clip they did yesterday versus Cloud9 as well. A lot of things falling into place here, as they might be kind of dancing around a little bit in mid, but they feel comfortable doing it.
Just got to watch out, though, because the objective priority is going over to 100 Thieves, because 100 Thieves have pushing mid and bottom waves. There's a bit of a timer here on FlyQuest to manage their waves, get Fly to a different position if they aren't going to use him to engage. If they are going to use him to engage, they're going to have to do that soon. And Afromu's flanking.
Still has good damage.
There he
goes in. They sweep a few back. That's going to be Stunt going down first. They got the Drowsy onto Someday. Almost taking him down, but they have to focus so much on the tank, and he still lives. A shot coming into Ryu, but they still feel comfortable to fight as 4 walk away. 5 are standing for 100 Thieves.
And Someday has teleport, so he backs up. He does not die there, despite Fly trying to drop him with all his efforts. There's the TP to go back. They're looking at the Baron, which just spawned. Uh-oh.
That's exactly what they wanted, though. Damage onto Cody's son. And what a heal from Turtle at just the last second to get that safety in, but it's still Baron. It's not enough that FlyQuest can just keep their members on the map. They have to be able to participate at this point. 100 Thieves is making quick work of everything there is.
100 Thieves, they have just been turning it on here in the second half of the split. 2-0 so far. They took down Cloud9 yesterday. Now this team, which looked like they were plagued by communication issues in the middle of the split, around week 3, week 4, coming into it, and they are looking clean.
Almost gets the flash in there. Might have put himself a little too deep. Hits from Turtle now. Someday has to think about this. Remember, they have that siege stop potential as well. And a very nice realm warp out to safety. 100 Thieves kind of take their first mistake and back with it.
Yeah, those hooks. We saw it during the lane phase where Afromu went for a hook, didn't quite get it, and they lost 3/4 of his HP. Late game, you miss a hook like that, and you commit for it. You see his flash going down. Those are the ones that get you killed. So that's why you don't see a lot of Blitzcrank in pro play, is you either kill or be killed with those hooks. You're either landing it and you're a god, or you're ending up on the other side of that kill.
There's so much pressure having the hook, and there's so much pressure relieved letting the hook go.
Yeah.
Well, so add a flash to that, and you're up the creek.
Yeah.
A lot of battle.
It's interesting because you throw out the hook, and if the hook misses, it's like a vacuum of power where they had all of this pressure on them, and then all of a sudden it just gets reversed in this kind of like it's magnified how important it is, right? Where now you feel all of the pressure that you were exerting by having that hook up, and now with it down, it's kind of like you just really do get picked on a whole bunch at that point.
That's his lifestyle, though. He's the Thresh play, that's the Blitzcrank play. He loves it. Living on the edge. keeping his AD carry alive.
I think a lot of
so he can say, I created this.
Exactly. I think a lot of it is Aphromoo is not afraid to own up to the mistakes or risks that he takes. There's a lot of players that they don't want to be the one to make the play. And here's a TP. Canceled. It looked like it was a fake one from Fly.
Yeah, maybe distract him a little bit. Get a good Drowsy on. Meteos walks right around that.
And 100 Thieves are the ones sieging here with the Tristana because they have those waves pushing. The middle inhibitor just respawned, though.
Getting a little sleepy. Meteos back up. If they can combine some of these spears and paddle stars, it would probably half health a few members.
Yeah,
really making the dive a little bit harder. The Claim wants to take a fight for himself and pull the team over to middle. Actually works kind of well. They don't have too much to defend on either side. They did want the top turret, so now they're just going to fight around the inhibitor, but that pulls them inside the base. Gives them a little bit less of a chance to escape right away. And you can see how tentative they are to enter, even without a minion wave, though. Cody's son has that damage. He still has the distance on Tristana to add it in there.
Yeah, there just isn't a whole bunch of damage on FlyQuest's side just yet, because Onda,
there it is,
pretty far behind on that Nidalee in terms of where he'd want to be, because a lot of Nidalee is you want to keep the enemy down, which makes you look even further ahead. But when you're at an even perspective, or an even point, which he is right now against the Jax, you're not actually hitting as hard as you would like to. And the Zoe is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here.
Kind of hope to see everybody's health bar something like some days after a few hits. And maybe they can keep consistently adding that damage. Meteos in the front, they don't able to get too much there, and some of those cupcakes deter 100 Thieves from going any harder. Baron up in 6 seconds, full control of the map, and breadcrumb wards throughout the blue top side to make sure they see FlyQuest entering the fight.
FlyQuest are down, just trying to get what little bits of their jungle they can. They have to give over the Ocean Drake. That's 4 Drakes for 100 Thieves. The next one will be the Elder here that'll spawn. Yep. So that's even more pressure come late game onto FlyQuest. So if this gets dragged out, 100 Thieves are looking at a very powerful Elder Dragon for themselves, especially in comparison to a FlyQuest steal it. It doesn't do too much for them. It just kind of denies it from 100 Thieves. And then the Baron. So there's multiple things that FlyQuest have to be wary of, especially with their base in tatters.
Right from the arm guard to Azanya is quite a bit of chunk of change there for Ryu in his pocket. And they just completely finish out items. Pink wards fill that last spot that would be a little bit more damage for him, but you can see the disparity between the items Ryu has and the items in build that Fly has right now. If those had changed, Fly might be able to make an impact on these health bars that you are looking for on these sieges.
Yeah, I found it interesting that Ryu went for the Hourglass, even though you can't do the Rise interaction
anymore, right?
Sonya's after ulting, it'll port you away.
What would you go for?
But I like this because it gets you out of Zoe bubble, right? This will be get slept. Oh no, I'm in a bad position. You can pop it, and you're not going to get blown up. So he has 2 ways to get out with both the cleanse and that. So I really do actually like that purchase here.
Huge hit. If it wasn't Lasagna's, what would you have purchased? More damage?
Yeah, probably.
That Rabbit Noodles death cap?
Bjergsen made it look really good, so I'd probably try that out.
Seems like a pretty fancy hat. I'd tip it your way. 10-6. McCaster. 34 minutes in. It could be one of the final inhibitors here, standing in FlyQuest base. Mid's already down. The pressure onto the top side here for 100 Thieves. Flame looking for a way in, but he hook shots out as he knows the team cannot follow up. Around the horn go 100 Thieves as they look to take the last inhibitor.
Yep. FlyQuest composition really wants to be at these areas first, stopping sieges, and being the ones to siege. But 100 Thieves, they're the ones who just keep getting to fish for hooks, fish for engages, and the engage potential of FlyQuest is very low. It's pretty much all on Flame. He's the only one who has an engage ability as opposed to like a pick ability. And you can see 100 Thieves are just running around the map, and that's triple inhib for them. The middle one will respawn soon. See if they revisit it here.
What a hop, dodge, dip, dive, duck, everything for this team.
What?
And they can just get out, jump over, not being hit by these spears, not being hit by Turtles Peacemakers, able to dodge out on the Howling Gales. For as much dodgeball as there is, 100 Thieves shows a very slippery team that can easily get out of these situations if they get too deep.
Yeah, I like how Meteos is blowing the counter-strike and stepping on traps so that Turtle can't really stack them up, so that he doesn't get hit by those big headshots afterwards. So the Jax pick actually working out well, and Meteos being quite intelligent about it too. And now we're looking at 3 inhibitors are down, double super minions for a little bit here. That middle inhibitor will respawn shortly, though, and 10 seconds on that Baron. So FlyQuest, they have to kind of face check this area. And there's a Blitzcrank. This is one of the scariest positions to be in as FlyQuest. They may just have to give up this Baron for free.
I agree. That's going to go down quite fast. Pushing out mid lane as much as possible. They say distance. We need distance right now. And they might be able to set up their own little bushwhack here on the right side. But Vision, no, they don't even try it. They just say kill the first super minion wave. We want time to fight under.
Going in.
The first hit, Realm Warp in. Good damage back on to Meteos to start things.
Oh,
no way! They get Turtle! 8-0-3 as Cody unlocks him down the third grab that puts Turtle in that death chamber. 48 seconds now on the clock. Will they be able to hold it off until he can get back? The minions are coming in, and just after the Baron was picked up, Turtle was hit so fast, he still has both summoners.
Oh, no, Hook not going to land there. They just might end the game right here, Riv.
Beautifully done, one after the other. Every lane taken down. They've gone around the horn, and they look to get another win under their belt as they finish off the members of FlyQuest. 100 Thieves stand 5 tall inside the base, and they bring themselves to 7-5 in the spring split.
Fantastic 2-0 weekend from 100 Thieves, and a deathless weekend for Cody Sun as well.
Absolutely ridiculous. 20-0-8 for Cody Sun on the weekend over Varus and Tristana. That is some protection. Like I said, one of my favorite things is support, when you can kind of go around and be like, I made this. I made this. Check this out. Obviously, Cody Sun did a hell of a lot of work this game with everyone else on the map, but the Thresh, the Blitzcrank, and all around, the play from 100 Thieves. Let's look at the whole team because they really stepped up together.
Yeah, I gotta say, when 100 Thieves started hitting that groove at the end of week 5 when they took down CLG, took down C9, took down FlyQuest here, this team, there's still a lot of questions of where they're going to end up. Right now, the trajectory looks like top half of the standings. And by their recent play, I would say top half of the standings for sure.
And this is something that they kind of are able to tack on as well. We used to see Aframu on these teams where you'd be like, oh, now we need to ban that guy. Now we need to ban that guy. They kind of get it.
They banned his Thresh.
They kind of get an upper hand now with an extra ban in that list, and they can keep doing whatever they need to do. FlyQuest having a difficult game, and with a very big idea coming in here. They knew what they wanted to do, but they got caught up in the chaos of the blitz grabs.
Yeah, they banned away his Thresh, and it just becomes Taster's choice for, Aframu at that point, where he's able to, if you start banning away his champions, he's like, I got this one, I got that one. So throwing bans at him may just not be the right way to go about it, and you just kind of have to let him play what he wants to. But that was something that they've been talking about. Blue side has this gigantic advantage with power picks. When there's so many left up in this draft because there's target bans from FlyQuest, you leave a lot of power picks up at the same time, and then red side gets to counter, and they counter the whole composition with that Blitzcrank.
Right. We got to wonder, right? The Zach was up. They picked the Nidalee. FlyQuest definitely coming in today saying, let's win with this. We'll kind of show everybody we have something else, and maybe next week. We'll see what happens. Let's right now hand it over to Avali and the Hook God from 100 Thieves.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Aframu. Congratulations on a 2-0 weekend. And, I want to ask you, was the Blitzcrank pick planned for today?
Not planned, but as soon as they picked those champions, my coach told me to insta-lock it, so I just insta-lock Blitz.
Now, with Blitzcrank, does it require different coordination, or because you're planning on landing the hooks, or how does the team work around that?
Blitzcrank, all about the Q. Early game, if you don't snowball, it's really hard for him to get hooks off. So it's very important that you play around Blitzcrank, put him in the position to get a lot of hooks. So we were doing a lot of vision control that game around all objectives. Pretty sure we got every dragon. So, but versus our poke comp, it's really scary, especially versus Zoe. So.
Phenomenal weekend for 100 Thieves. Looking at the bigger picture, what do you think was the team's turning point that allowed you to pull off this performance?
I think our practice has been doing a lot better. Stop, Dark. Our practice has been doing a lot better. And we've definitely come to terms on, how we want to play, how we want to do things. And I think that's a big part of it.
Since you acknowledged Dardoch in the side, anything you want to say to him before you go into the match?
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Josh.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations again on that win. And for more on the game, let's hear from the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. 100 Thieves picking up a win here and doing it in impressive fashion, fun fashion, really, with a Blitzcrank in the game. But we wanted to take a deep dive into the draft here and look seriously at what FlyQuest was attempting to do and also the intelligent response here from 100 Thieves to shut it down.
Yeah, there's a couple things going on here. I don't know why. Whenever I have a gut feeling about something, it always just ends up in a wonky, weird draft. So starting with the bans for FlyQuest, I really don't like the Thresh overreaction ban. Like, yes, Afro killed on it yesterday, but you know Ryu's best champion is Ryze, and for some reason, they over-prioritize that.
And I really liked what 100 Thieves did. I noticed when prepping the draft for our mock and during Countdown that Galio, Gangplank, Skarner, Zoe, Azir are all super scary champions. And they kind of made a bet that Fly Zoe wouldn't be amazing since he's such a team player normally.
Yep.
And any of those 3 champions in 100 Thieves banned, if those are first picks, I'm much more scared as 100 Thieves.
And what's also interesting about it is the Galio was saved for the last ban, because if the Ryze ban came in, I bet they probably banned the Zoe instead, because Ryze is one of the best matchups for Zoe. And because they didn't ban the Ryze, they get to leave the Zoe up, which we saw was not super effective this game.
Right, that said, not a surprise that Zoe was picked up first. This is a very highly prioritized
you have
pick.
to.
The response to Jack's Trist, I think where some questions start to get raised is the Caitlyn Nidalee locked in second rotation for FlyQuest?
Siege comp.
I hate over-indexing on something. You don't need that much stuff anymore at this point. Like, yes, they were able to win some bot lane fights that were over-initiated on by the side of 100 Thieves, but at this point, this is just a scrappy Nidalee, like, punishing some mistakes by the enemy team. Great, but your team comp has been destroyed in anything other than a siege situation. It's super hard to do much else. And so while Nidalee did pick up some kills, great Q last hitting on skirmishy fights, they were unable to do much else with their team comp once they fall behind because they're so squishy.
Yeah, and we were kind of asking each other, when is the last time, like, a full poke siege comp has worked? And I was like, I don't know, season 1, like 6 years ago? Because the ones that work, in my opinion, the ones that work are the ones that have ways of stopping initiation. And it's so rare that you can do that, because the Janna doesn't stop the Blitzcrank. The Nidalee doesn't stop the Blitzcrank. Like, nothing in this composition stops what 100 Thieves was able to draft as an initiator.
Yeah, so they ban out Alistar Braum in the second rotation, getting rid of some initiation supports, which makes some sense. And then they lock in the Janna. Camille's going to go 4-1 split push. But guess what? You're playing against Afro, who you know plays Blitzcrank. So why would you pick the Janna there? It just makes it so easy. And watch this. The flash away, just leading a pick onto the AD carry. If that's another jungler there who's a little tankier, you might not need to flash that and kill
Right, if you're
carry.
Zach, you're a little bit more okay with getting pulled there and protecting your ADC and getting out afterwards.
No front line in your 4-man core available, which is necessary for sieging a lot of the time around neutral objectives.
But FlyQuest tried something.
Yeah,
and so what I want to do is I want to get into the conversation about, you know, where we fault teams for trying something and maybe even looking for the cases in which what they've done here would have worked.
Yeah, so I think you don't need the Nidalee. You have a tank jungle pick, and suddenly you have something that can give you a front line. Zoe's poke's going to be fine. They actually have 2 of the most OP champs in the game right now.
Zoe Camille.
Right? They have a bottom lane that they've been able to win with, Caitlyn, Janna. And they thought they'd be pressuring everything else. So, like, why not just throw Nidalee on top of it and try to get, like, a 6-turret snowball?
Live in their jungle.
And just win the game. So, like, that's the
skirmishing.
idea. But literally, if you have that many winning lanes, just take a Zac, have a little bit of a front line, and it's like...
I mean, hell, take Gragas, right?
I especially don't like it into 100 Thieves as a team. Like, think about what they do. You leave the Ryze for the Zoe. That's Ryu's best champion. You're playing against Afro Meteos, who have unbelievable synergy ganking the bot lane. You take a highly volatile bot lane. Like, that could have got blown open if that second dive that they went for didn't work. So this was a game where it's like... This doesn't make sense to me against 100 Thieves, who, like, you're just like, oh, yeah, if you gank our bot lane well, the game's over, which is basically what happened.
That's exactly what happened. We saw it at level 3, the junglers making a visit down to the bot lane, getting a few kills picked up. You can see the damage dished out by Cody's son, so continuing to...
All right, so I don't want to rain on Cody's son's parade, but you have 4 frontliners against an all-poke team comp. Great game, obviously, by him. I'm not throwing any shade, but, like, let's keep it in perspective that, like, literally no one is walking up and threatening you ever.
Right.
And if you get slept, 4 people will run in front of you. It's a from ahead. Once that stuff went well in the bot lane, the coordination between Afro and Meteos, at that point, it's Cody Sun's, you know, dream scenario.
Yeah. On the flip side, like, Prawley did great.
Great draft.
Based on the circumstances. Just knowing the Blitzcrank is there, like, yes, it is 100% the perfect pick in hindsight. A lot of coaches don't see that in the moment. They'll be like, oh yeah, well the other tanks are banned, so I guess we got to go with Tarek. Like, no, he knows what to do.
Right. The easy thing would just be go down the tier list of the different supports and take the next available one, but instead looking at where the other comp can fail and how do we attack that weakness the most. Blitzcrank is an obvious pickup there. 3 wins in a row here for 100 Thieves, now also moving to 7-5, and so it's again an interesting conversation at the top of the table as our teams feel very streaky. Right? You've got like 2-0 weeks and 0-2 weeks. And so, again, every time someone starts to do well, we get real hot on them. These are the next 4 opponents for 100 Thieves. With that in mind, do we expect this team to start, a climb?
I'll tell you tomorrow next week after I talk to Medios about how their scrims went, because apparently that's very...
This week it was very telling.
Yeah, obviously. And then they're playing Team Liquid, who they can tie if they beat them, and they're also playing TSM, who they can get ahead of if they beat them. So next week is super important for where 100 Thieves end their season.
I love the fact that they are playing TL and TSM so quickly after having that resurgence from an entertainment perspective. I dislike it from a prediction perspective because it's really hard to predict. When you have them trending upwards, TSM finally having a 2-0 week, Liquid we just saw win. We're going to see how they do up against Echo Fox in the next game. It's the perfect time for them to
difficult predictions for you guys means more fun for us, so I'll take it. We're going to step away. When we return, it's Echo Fox versus Team Liquid. We'll see you back here after the break.
Play Blitz.
You guys want me to play Blitz?
Yeah,
I can play Blitz.
I like it.
Yeah.
Play Blitz, bro.
I like Blitz.
Only